What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video. So I know it's been a while since I've had a video posted that's not just like a quick little whatever video like giving y'all some updates or something like that, but today we're actually going to do a video of kind of like earlier when I started the channel I did a video of a water change and what that looks like for me versus I didn't really expand on what I do after the fact. So like after you put the water is changed, you put the new water in there, and I didn't really expand on how I go through the process of making sure that the water that has I guess you could say the new water has replaced what I changed is going to be able to have like the same type of levels, and what each thing that I put in there does for that. So first off, before we get started, I would like to show you guys, I finally got the 55 completely set up. So we got the filters in there, we got the heater, and we got the light. So all the 55, and it's cycled. I've had it running for about a month now, so it's ready to go for fish. It's just going to be finding the right ones and getting some Ranchu in there. So same for, she's not in there right now because when I do my water changes, I do like to put OJ in a separate bowl. Obviously, if it's on a larger scale, it's going to be kind of harder to separate all your fish in their own little areas, but yeah, really you only have to do that if you're doing a very large water change. But if you're just doing a small water change, there's no problem with just leaving them in the tank while you do it. I just personally prefer, while I am still on a smaller scale, I personally prefer to take them out when I do a water change. But so as you can see, I've done the water change as far as I did about probably about 25% on each of them. I drained them, I vacuumed them, I filled them back up at this point. And from here, we're just going to go into each individual thing that I use and why do I use that. So I'm going to be trying to film two separate videos for two separate platforms. So for this video, I'll probably show you guys on the 35 and then have a separate video on my other platform for the 55. It's going to be the same process. It's just obviously it's going to be different amounts because it's different gallons. So but yeah, stay tuned, and yeah, I hope you guys like it. And next up, we're just going to be doing step by step from the top of what I do as soon as the water's in there, and I just got to add the next things to it. So yeah. All right, guys. So I got everything set up here for my 30 gallon. Like I said, OJ is currently not in the tank. I do like to take them out while I am on a smaller scale, and I'm just doing, it's not a big water change. So like I said, you can keep them in, but I prefer to take them out. Just personal preference, really no reason why you can or can't. But yeah, so all right, first thing I typically do is where I live is I do have a very high pH level in the water. So I want to keep that around 7 as much as possible. And since I don't have any live planted, just any live plants in the aquarium at all, I do like to use this proper pH because it's going to give you more specifically towards a 7.0. Now you can use different items. I believe API makes one, and also CChem also makes a product that is going to allow you to, it's not going to give you to a specific number, but it will allow you to buffer, higher pH, lower pH, but it's just not going to give you, I like to use this just because it's going to get me closer to exactly, I know what I'm getting. So, just obviously, to use anything, just read there's usually directions on it. There's always going to be directions on it. But yeah, so definitely you want to have something, especially if you're doing a higher constant or a higher, a higher volume of a water change. 100% you want to make sure your pH is going to be under control. I have done it enough times and I know the pH is going to be high. So yeah, just get you a nice, shake it up a little bit, just get you a little spoon, make sure you go by the directions. So this one's 2 teaspoons for every 10 gallons. So you just shake it up, and I just put my teaspoon in there, and sorry about that. You know, just toss it in there. Like I said, I didn't do. Let me just do this real quick. I didn't do a full water change. It wasn't like 100%. So obviously you don't have to do. If you're, say you have a 40-gallon tank and it's 2 teaspoons for every 10 US gallons, you're not putting, what would that be, 8 teaspoons in there. So, you know, if you have 10, you're using 2 teaspoons, 20, 4, and 6. My bad, I did the math wrong. So 6 teaspoons. So you're not putting 6 teaspoons in there. Oh wait, no, that was right. Yeah, I did that wrong. So yeah, so 8 teaspoons. If you have a 40-gallon, according to this, you would be putting 8 teaspoons if you're filling up. That's considering, you know, you're going from 0 to 100%. So I just did about a 50%, not even, probably somewhere between 25 and 50% water change. So I'm just gonna, I like to play it safe. So I might do an extra teaspoon. So instead of just doing, you know, like what would be enough for 15, I'll do like 20. So that's all you have to do for that. I'll keep this out because I have to do it for the 55 as well. But so next up, it's A+ aquarium salt. Now, if you read the back of these things, I mean, you can use it for multiple different things: external parasites, disease treatment, aquarium accessories. But I just like to use it for. Let's see if I can kind of read. Yeah, I mean, I just like to use it for general health. I just use, there's one in here for general conditioning, and it's just for the overall promote your fish's health. It's good for them. So I just like to do that every water change, especially since I do take them out of the water. It's going to help with the stress levels and things like that. So I'm moving them back and forth. Now OJ's done it enough that she's probably, I mean, she kind of knows. She doesn't really run away when I put my hand in there to grab her anymore. She knows what's coming. She knows what's going on. So once they get used to what's going on, you know, the stress levels probably go down. I don't know, I'm not a scientist, but you know, just based off of her reaction and watching her, she does seem a lot more calm now that she knows what's going on whenever I get her out of the water. So for this, I'm going to do a tablespoon per 5 gallons is what it says on here. So that's about, what, 3 teaspoons, I think, per tablespoon. So I'm just going to do 20 gallons worth. Oops, that's the bag. Let's see, 2, 5. Try not to lose count here. 15. 2 more here. Just do that, drop it in there, and you're good to go with the salt. Now, because I don't have any fish in 55 gallons, or I'm not adding any fish yet, I'm not going to put the aquarium salt, so we'll be done with that. We'll just worry about the pH. And then, so next up is what I like to use Seachem Prime. This is great for if you're setting up a new aquarium. I just like to do it because it is, like it says on here, it's going to remove that chlorine and chloramine, and which you'll see ammonia, nitrates, and nitrites take control from that. So it's going to detoxify those things, which are very harmful to your fish. So you definitely want to have something that when you're adding new water into your tank, you know, you want to 100% have something that's going to make sure that it keeps that ammonia, nitrates under control. So yeah, I have noticed too that I moved this tank whenever I got to 55. I did move this tank to a different part of a wall, and I don't know if it's getting because it's getting more natural sunlight maybe. I have had problems where algae is starting to grow really fast in here, and I have monitored the levels. The levels are fine. Um, oh, let's see, I can kind of show you guys if you can see here. But the nitrate levels, so they're fluctuating around right here, which is a 5.0, which is fine, as long as they don't get much higher than that. For your nitrates, that's perfectly okay. But yeah, so like basically my point is just to make sure that if you see some algae and stuff, it's not always a bad sign. Sometimes it's a good sign, that you have some nitrates, some good bacteria built up in there, but you don't want to let it take over. Because even good bacteria, once you get enough levels of it, it can still be bad for your fish. So yeah, this one I always read it. No, even no matter how many times I do this, even if I know, I still read it just to double verify myself. But yeah, so it's going to be use 1 capful for each 50 US gallons. Obviously, this is not a 50-gallon tank, so I just kind of go based off of what I think I should put in there, and what I've had success with in the past. So I'm just going to go not very much. There we go, that should be good. Because you don't want to there is such thing as over conditioning your water, and you don't want to do that. You're going to kill all your good bacteria and things such as that. So if you over condition it, so you can over condition your water. Try to be wary of that. I know you want to play it safe, but at the same time, playing it too safe can be harmful to your fish. And I will say, so as we're wrapping up here, I will address this right here. So the light is good enough that it for the 55, it provides enough light that I'm comfortable with. But yeah, I mean, it definitely kind of looks a little wonky. I was expecting it to be a little bigger than that, but I guess I did my measurements wrong. But yeah, we'll see. I'll let you guys say what's up to OJ real quick. Let me see if I can pick up. She's in a little bowl. This is what I usually put her in while I'm doing the water change. Don't want to stress her out, move her around. But yeah, she's looking good. She's big. She's happy and healthy. Put her back down so don't stress her out. But she's good. I'm really excited to hopefully get her a tank made in pretty soon. Like I said, I am looking around now in order to go ahead and buy her another tank made. So, but yeah, she's been great. Before I grab a tank mate for her, I am going to go ahead and upgrade her filtration in there and do double sponge filters just to make sure that I don't have any problems, to where even though I was able to get it under control, and I found out it was that that one extra feeding a day that I decided to add to try to grow them out was enough to kind of flip the balance. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and add some filtration in there before I do add her another tank mate, because I don't want that ammonia spike to happen, which is very common when adding new fish. But yeah, it's gonna be about it. Hopefully my next video is gonna be but getting a new fish in and showing you guys the new fish. I'm very excited. I did almost think about just going all Orandas, but like I said, Ranchu was the reason I wanted to get into this hobby to begin with. So I want to stick with that and honor that was like where the whole idea came from, was from Ranchu. So I do want Ranchu to still be my main focus, even though, like I said, I believe it was in my first video that I do think Orandas are absolutely beautiful. I love the fantail look to them. And you don't really get that as much in Ranchu, but I do want to stick to what got me into the hobby to begin with, and that was Ranchus. So I am going to stick with Ranchus, which means basically that I'm not specifically looking for a male to go with AJ or OJ. But if it works out that way, then yeah, I would probably eventually try to breed them. So, but if not, and I'll just get 2 female Orandas, then it's just going to be a nice, cool tank to look at and update with, and show you guys. So as they grow and things like that. But yeah, I think honestly these 2 tanks are probably what I'm going to stick with. because I don't want to, with what I do currently, you know, I've been very busy. That's why the lack of videos and things like that, and the lack of, you know, energy. But I don't want to overwhelm myself to the point where it doesn't become a hobby anymore and it's more of a burden. So I am going to stick with just these 2 tanks and with the 20 gallon over there. Now, once I get to where, you know, I'm in a more permanent spot and I'm going to be in a more consistent schedule, then yeah, I'll still plan on expanding. But as of now, that doesn't mean I'm not going to use the 20 gallon that I currently have. It just means that, you know, if I do have some babies, I'll just use that as a tank for babies. I'm not going to try to keep getting more and more tanks. But yeah, that's about it, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Stay tuned, like I said, because really soon, hopefully really soon, we should be getting some new additions, which I'm very excited about. It's been a long time coming. I appreciate the patience, guys. And yeah, just stick with me, man. Just stick with me, guys. It's almost time. We're about there. We're going to be getting some new additions in. So with that being said, stay tuned, guys. Until next time.